So you've got to kind of excuse my ignorance on it because I don't really know a lot about this.
Yeah.
About what you're doing, anything like that. If you were to be in an elevator and you're going to the 30th floor of the building right now, and you have to tell that person exactly what you do, what is that exactly?
I would say that in like a very short way of saying it is I coordinate an advisory body that provides advisory recommendations and references to the mayor and city council surrounding human rights law and best practices.
Okay. That you would
That
have
was good, right?
had extra seconds to still talk about
And
anything
then,
else.
yeah, exactly.
So this question is going to be
I feel like you've practiced that though.
I have, and like I've given that answer probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my question is threefold.
Okay.
Threefold.
Why do you believe what you do is important?
Okay.
What are the challenges? And C, being that this is a number of years after that McLean's article, is it meeting its objective?
Ooh, good one. Okay, you might have to get me reminded on the second and the third, but the first point, I think for myself, coming from a family of immigrants too, and trying to and having lived experience and watching things just kind of suck for certain Winnipeggers. So I think that is the importance of, people coming here. We're a melting pot of a city and a country, realistically. And that's just never going to change, I don't think. And so how can we make it easier for people to navigate? And how can we, make people who deserve, and this is just going beyond immigrants and newcomers, people with mental illnesses or intellectual disabilities, how can we make it so that they don't have to ask for what they deserve, right? Like, how can we just make things, I hate having to have somebody say like, oh, I need this requirement, or, like they shouldn't have to ask for us to come up with ASL when there's so many other things in the world that like they're handing out, those kind of things. Like, it's just important.
And ASL's been around for so long.
It has. And like, so has deaf and hard of hearing people. Like, it's not a new trend or, big
and it has nothing to do with ethnicity.
It really doesn't.
Really, like it could be anybody.
Yeah. And so, I mean, and there's a ton of, I work with people and sit on my subcommittees that are deaf, and so they need it. Like, they can't come to the meeting unless we have that. And they're some of our smartest and most contributing members. So we need those things for them. And so it's just a matter of looking at how I can make things in my position, but also the Human Rights Committee. And I think the beautiful thing about it is that it's people with lived experience. So whether it be personal or professional or a mix of both, like we have an individual who was homeless and he served on the committee for 3 years. And so, he's providing that kind of grassroots on the ground. This is what we need. This is what works. This doesn't work. He now trains the police and paramedics on how to best communicate and how to, navigate when working with unsheltered people.
It's kind of like an insider.
Yeah, exactly. Right? And that's what the Human Rights Committee is. It's built up with citizens. So all of the citizens come from different areas of focus and passion. So some are like really involved in, newcomer stuff. Some are involved in unsheltered communication. And so it's just, that is why I think it's so important, because I don't really think that politicians have that idea of what the lived experience portion of it is. They can just do policy analyst and, best practice from other places, but ultimately it should be folks who have lived in that area to be able to shape things. So that was first part.
The second part was, what are the challenges that you face on a day-to-day basis in your job?
I think the main one being that people sometimes think we're the Human Rights Commission. And so like, they like have like human rights complaints for me. And I'm like, man, like that's so
that
not
goes
in my
to human rights.
Like that's not in my wheelhouse, and especially like understanding the different jurisdictions between federal, provincial, and municipal. Municipal is much smaller than people tend to realize. It's like, I can't do anything about something that happened to you like on a provincial level, or healthcare or education. People don't really know the difference of what is under what jurisdiction. I would say that, and then like getting some nasty emails every now and then, but like, your skin gets thicker over time.
Do you get emails about the potholes at all?
No, but I hear about them a lot.
Okay.
I do. And they suck. They really do
do.
suck. They're awful on the way
Do you have any
here.
inside information on how to
I
get
got
them fixed,
none.
or
I got none.
No?
Honestly, like I'm
No.
at a point where I think we should just do it ourselves. Just go outside
Well, Willie
and start.
Jefferson was out there the other day with Scott Gillingham
Was he?
fixing potholes.
That's hilarious. But Scott is actually really good for everything that like is pretty like tangible steps instead of like, we're going to make this and that and these big
Yeah.
ideas. He's really good for like, we have really bad potholes and a lot of homeless people. So like, let's do things to
Tackle
fix that.
that.
Yeah. So I really like that. Other challenges would be myself having to remain neutral,
Yeah.
right? Because I'm a coordinator. I have lost my voting privileges as I used to be on the committee, and I was very vocal.
Yeah.
I'm always very vocal on these things, and so I'm a neutral party now. And that for me is
Are you like a
difficult.
moderator of the committee then, would you say?
Kind of, yeah. Like I don't have a vote, but I also can't, like if somebody brings forward something that I'm not necessarily in alignment with,
Yeah.
I don't really get to say that because it's not, like I can tell them this may not be good for the city or this
Right.
may be good for the city, but at the end of the day, it's not up to me to make those decisions. So I think being neutral is hard because I do have a lot of firm beliefs in things, and
Yeah.
so it
So
gets
you're
tricky.
more coordinator instead of somebody who steers people.
Exactly. Yeah, I can provide advice, but that advice needs to be nonpartisan and neutral again.
Okay.
And then the third, I think we're doing all right in terms of
Since the McLean,
Since
that's
the
the
McLean's
third
article,
question was the McLean's
on
article.
paper anyways. we
Yeah.
are, right? Like I don't know necessarily if there's been a big societal shift or shift in discourse or maybe like beliefs, but I do think if you look at what we've done on paper of all the things that we've done, I think you can be like, it checks all the boxes for things that there's been like active attempts to,
Yeah.
educate and create awareness and create policies that would help people in, equity, diversity, inclusion, or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
So on paper, totally. But I mean, in terms of if we're ever going to be able to shift people's brains, I think it's going to take a lot more than
Yeah.
anything a city could do.
You're doing everything you can.
Yeah.
Whether
Yeah.
that's making a change as a whole, you don't know.
We don't know.
Thanks for watching the Greg and Tim Show clips. If you want, click the subscribe button right in the middle here. And then there's an episode in front of me and an episode in front of Tim. Click on them. Keep on watching. Keep on watching and share with your friends. Thanks for watching the clip.
Cheerio.
Cheerio.